There are hundreds of pieces of cryptid evidence, but sometimes this evidence becomes lost. Photos, videos, audio, and even entire specimens have been reported to exist, but just like cryptids, they can't be found. Here are some of these bizarre cases of lost media. In the 1960s, an oil expedition near California caught footage of an unidentified creature. The unknown animal, nicknamed Marvin, was said to move in a bizarre corkscrew-like fashion. Multiple scientists watched the video, but they were unable to identify what species it was. Only 3 stills from the footage are still available, with the rest of the video being lost. During a spree of Bigfoot sightings in the Standing Rock Reservation back in 1977, some photographs of the creature were taken. They showed the cryptid in motion, as it started off moving on all 4s and then moved onto 2 legs. John Eric Beckjord referred to these as the Dart photos, so it's believed that the photographer was a local man named Sam Dart. In 1939, Australian sailor Cecil Walter was on board the Corumba off the coast of Western Australia. Suddenly, he spotted a serpent he estimated to be 90 feet or 27 meters long through the telescope. It had spots of blue, yellow, and green along its back. He claims to have taken a photo of the animal, but it was later lost after he sent it to a relative. In 1947, Chinese soldiers shot a yeren, a wildman cryptid located in western China. Unfortunately, the body of the yeren disappeared sometime during the Chinese Civil War. During a trip to Cairo in 1951, zoologist Paul Durrani Yagala saw a strange tiger skin in a market. According to the seller, the skin came from a tiger in Sudan, far outside the range of any known tiger. Durrani Yagala gave the tiger the name Panthera tigris sudanensis. However, it's still debated as to whether or not the skin actually came from Sudan, or if it was brought to Cairo from Asia. Both the skin and a photo of the skin can't be found. In 1963, 2 men were flying over Sonora, California when they spotted a large animal on the ground. They took photos of the creature, which they described as a cinnamon-colored mix between a bear and an ape. These photos were discussed in Fate magazine, but weren't released. But this wasn't the only time 2 men took a photo of Bigfoot while flying over Sonora, California. In 1968, a different pair saw what they at first thought was a bear, but they soon realized it was an 11-foot or 3.3 meter tall ape-like creature. The animal raised its hands in the air as they passed over, and one of the men took a photo. They also went back to the area and photographed large footprints. There was a bidding war for the photo, with one report saying that a bid went as high as $10,000. Despite this, a later article says that the 2 men never sold the photo. In 1951, pilot Ian Colvin took a photograph of the Kongamato, a living pterosaur cryptid. This photograph was later published in the Daily Telegraph newspaper. But when they were asked where the photo was, the Telegraph said they didn't have it archived. In the 18th century, 2 men shot a reptilian pelican thought to be a living pterosaur in Chile. Although part of it was preserved and sent to a Chilean natural history museum, it became lost after a civil war. A group in Oklahoma City called the International Society for the Investigation of the Unexplained once documented a peculiar Bigfoot encounter. A pilot in Oklahoma had made an emergency landing in the woods when something began walking towards him. At first he thought it was another person, so he waved at it. But as it got closer, he realized it was a Bigfoot. He stated that it had a strangely large head and glowing green eyes. He also claimed to have taken a photo of it, but the photo is lost. The dogless is an Indian cryptid described as a hybrid between a male leopard and a female tiger. A man named Frederick Hicks claimed to have successfully hunted a dogless in 1910. However, author Michael Newton stated that the pelt of the creature was later lost or stolen. This is a photograph allegedly from an 1894 set taken of a strange creature lying in the snow. The most prominent alleged backstory claims that the animal in it was shot by local workers. However, the nearby Hudson Bay Company took all evidence of this. There were multiple photographs taken of the Bigfoot-like creature, but the company confiscated both the body and all the photos. One man was able to sneak into where the photos were being held and make a copy with his camera. 4 other photographs remain missing. A town in Wales called Penllyn was once allegedly home to a strange species. These were brightly colored winged serpents that were known for eating farmers' chickens. They were also said to shimmer while flying. At least one now missing specimen was taxidermied. In 1977, the late Chief AJ was hired by CBS to film evidence of the legendary Thunderbird in Illinois. AJ was a former Marine combat photographer, and he studied central Illinois for potential locations where the giant birds would be. He was able to capture a video that he claims shows the Thunderbird flying over Lake Shelbyville. The footage available is a 94-second long clip, but he also talked about a 30-minute Thunderbird DVD. The book Mystery in Ancambaro mentions a video taken in the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico showing a living pterosaur. The video was allegedly viewed by many people, including cryptozoologist Loren Coleman. The book cited Coleman's Mysterious America as the source for the video. However, despite looking in multiple versions of the book, the video isn't mentioned. Additionally, there were no other mentions of the Yucatan tape anywhere else. I was able to reach out to Loren Coleman directly, and he stated that Richard Greenwell's archives might have the video. During the First Punic War, a Roman army near the river Baratus killed a giant serpent after losing many men to it. They preserved parts of the animal, which allegedly measured 120 feet or 37 meters long. It was then sent to Rome, where it was kept on public display until being lost during the Numantine War. In 1968, a man took a photograph of the Tuchinoko, a wide Japanese snake-like cryptid, east of Osaka. Unfortunately, he lost the photo before it could be developed. Another man named Soseki Yamamoto, who wrote several books on the Tuchinoko, also claimed to have seen a photo of the animal. He said it was in a newspaper sometime in the 1960s, but he didn't recall which newspaper it was in. In 2004, a living thylacine was allegedly photographed on Mount Victoria in New Guinea. After the initial report, someone else followed up with a guide in the area who stated that he had seen a strange animal that looked like a cross between a cat and a dog. However, it had spots instead of stripes. Whatever it was, the photograph is lost. A couple filmed a Bigfoot running alongside railroad tracks in Mississippi back in 1977. This video was then analyzed by the Jet Propulsion Laboratory of Pasadena. In 1998, however, investigator Don Keating stated that he believed the film was now lost. In the 1940s, a giant turtle was witnessed and possibly captured on tape in Indiana. Nicknamed Oscar, or the Beast of Busco, the locals tried to trap the creature in March of 1949. While this attempt failed, a man named Del Weingartner managed to film it from a tree. The footage is said to show a large outline of a turtle just under the water. He later sold the film to an unknown person. Additionally, a man named Daley Fogel took photos of the turtle that are also missing. In 1960, a veteran outdoorsman named Zach Hamilton walked into a store to get some photographs developed. He had been in the Three Sisters area of Oregon when a strange bipedal hairy animal began following him. He would never return to collect his photographs, but the pictures showed a weird humanoid figure. Only one photo is widely available. The others he had are lost. In Mike Quast's book Big Footage, he discusses a possible Bigfoot photo an acquaintance named CJ told him about. CJ had known a man who made boating trips to Canada every year. On one occasion, the man saw and photographed the outline of a Bigfoot at night. Unfortunately, CJ couldn't remember more details about either the photo or the man who took it. In 2003, Thomas van Roosmalen filmed a possibly new species of large anteater in Brazil. It was able to climb trees and had markings more like a tamandua than a giant anteater. He and his biologist father Mark were unable to capture a specimen of the animal to prove its existence. The video is also missing. The Caspian tiger was a population of Central Asian tigers that went extinct in 2003. In 2015, a group of American soldiers were flying a drone around Afghanistan collecting footage when they spotted a tiger in some bushes. They were able to review this footage, however, it couldn't be released due to the classified nature of the operation. One soldier said it looked like a Caspian specifically due to it having a beard on its chin, which was a feature of Caspian tigers. After the American withdrawal, the soldier tried to get the footage released, but was unsuccessful. In the Big Day Swamp of Maryland, a few teenagers took a photograph of Bigfoot after a number of previous sightings. The photo was not only lost, but was also said to be partially damaged while being developed. During World War II, a soldier named George Agogino tossed a grenade into a freshwater lake in New Guinea. Among the fish that floated to the surface was a large freshwater shark. Agogino made a sketch of the shark before it sank beneath the surface, but this sketch is missing. While in Guyana, explorer Matthew Young saw large, upright ape-like creatures. He later stated that this reminded him of a 1926 article he read in Reader's Digest about a similar creature being photographed in the Rocky Mountains. While this photo can't be located, it seems like he was talking about an early picture of a Bigfoot-like creature. In 1860, a giant centipede around 18 inches or 46 centimeters long was captured in Arkansas by a man named Bent Music. The centipede was then placed in a jar of alcohol, but it disappeared during the Civil War. A friend of Bobo from the show Finding Bigfoot might have recorded a black panther in California. According to Bobo, they had been driving near Bluff Creek, home of the Patterson-Gimlin film, when they saw the animal. Bobo said that it was visibly a black mountain lion, not a house cat or a melanistic jaguar. Black mountain lions have never been proven to exist. While he did take a video, his friend unfortunately passed away, and he had a large amount of footage which would be difficult to sort through. In 1895, a Wisconsin man captured a strange feathered snake. It was covered in green and red feathers, with only some pinkish scales on the snake's underbelly. The man was going to send the specimen to the Smithsonian, but it disappeared sometime afterwards. In the 1970s, a teenager found a baby champ in a swamp by Vermont's Lake Champlain. He said it was a strange reptile with a forked tongue, unlike anything he'd ever seen. He captured the reptile and sent it to the University of Vermont, where it became lost. Forrest Galante claims that he was shown a photograph of a recently deceased thylacines jaw found in New Guinea. The thylacine had been burned, but it still matched known thylacine jaws. This photograph wasn't released out of fear that hunters would try to kill the remaining thylacines. There is allegedly a penguin in southern New Zealand larger than known penguins with distinctive deep orange marks. 4 specimens of these penguins were sent to George Jacquerie of the Southland Museum. The specimens then disappeared. In the early 2000s, a surveillance camera near a casino in Oklahoma allegedly recorded a large Bigfoot walking next to a dumpster. A small number of people have claimed to have seen the video, but it has never been publicly released. There are conflicting details about what the video shows, though it is said to be of relatively good quality. The Bigfoot is sometimes said to rummage through the garbage, but others who have watched the video have denied this. A street lamp provides a scale for the Bigfoot, showing that it's roughly 9 feet, or 2.7 meters tall. There are rumors that the tribe which owns the casino wants to keep Bigfoot a secret, which led to them not releasing the video. The host of the Confessionals podcast once heard that a police officer had recorded a black panther on his dash cam in Tennessee. The video showed the panther along a highway barrier, which provided a scale and showed that it was not just a large domestic cat. The officer didn't release the video after allegedly being told not to by a superior. Shortly before the Battle of Little Bighorn, a man named Goes Ahead went on a vision quest. During this quest, he found a strange creature he likened to a flying lizard with a dragonfly's wings. He would later make a detailed sketch of this creature on a mountain. A photograph was taken of this sketch, but the photo is now lost, and the sketch has since faded away. In 1995, an Alaskan man heard a large animal moving on the ice. He began recording the creature, and the video showed a large bipedal animal moving through deep snow. Interestingly, the creature had very long hair all over it which seemed to move as it moved. Although the video isn't available, the fisherman did go back later and find that moving through the deep snow was possible for a human. In 1875, a group of boys from Kansas spotted a strange snake flying through the air. One of the boys captured it by throwing his hat over the animal. It was about a foot or 30 centimeters long, with spots and wings the size of a human hand. The snake was preserved in alcohol before going missing. Walker Lake in Nevada is allegedly home to an unidentified creature that lives in underwater caves. 2 men were said to have gotten close enough to the cryptid to photograph it around 1968. The location of this photograph is unknown, but it was allegedly published in a Reno, Nevada-based newspaper. In 1868, explorer Julius Haast was in New Zealand when he was shown a strange pelt. It was from a rodent-like mammal and was covered in white spots. This pelt is thought by some to be from the Waitoriki, an otter-like cryptid. The pelt was later sent to Gerard Krefft at the Australian Museum, where it went missing. In the 1960s, a story of a large jellyfish-like creature that paralyzed and killed a shark emerged. The original source for this story, which seems to be a newspaper article, has yet to be located. The earliest known source is Eric Russell's 1967 book, Great World Mysteries. In 1719, a bizarre creature was found in Arzamas, Russia. It had reptilian leathery wings, sharp teeth, and was 25 feet or 7.5 meters in length. They put it into a barrel of brandy to preserve it before it went missing while being transported. In 1988, Bigfoot researchers Mike Klar and Bob Gardiner would go on an expedition into the experimental forest of Ohio. After hearing some howling, they were able to capture a now-lost video of glowing eyes in the woods. The Sasa Bonsam is a flying humanoid reported in Ghana. In the early 1900s, a man named Agia Wu found and killed one in a tree hollow. A commissioner named L.W. Wood then photographed the body of the cryptid. When Wood was asked about the incident later, he couldn't confirm if he had taken a photo. The date of the alleged photo was also in question, as one local thought it was in 1928, while Wood was in the area in 1918. In 1973, a man from Florida told Ivan Sanderson's magazine Pursuit that he had audio of a Big Harry, or Bigfoot. Unfortunately, this audio doesn't seem to have been archived anywhere. In 2007, missionary and aid worker John Shepard heard reports of the Gabahali, a giant armored reptile cryptid from Liberia. Several people tried to capture the beast, but they were unsuccessful. During one attempt, however, a picture was taken. No other details are known about it, besides that it was taken sometime after 1996. In 1948, a woman was looking through a bucket of fish scales in Florida when she found some scales unlike anything she'd ever seen before. She sent one of these scales to a marine biologist named Isaac Ginsberg. He said they were unlike any fish in the area, comparing them to a coelacanth due to their prehistoric appearance. Unfortunately, these scales have since gone missing. In 1973, a naturalist named Sterling Lanier saw a necklace with what appeared to be coelacanth scales in Florida. The scales were from locally caught fish, however, the owner refused to sell the necklace. A sketch made by Lanier of the necklace is also lost. In 1967, a group of teenagers claimed to have encountered a group of Sasquatches over a several-day period in Oregon. One of them even shot and hit a Bigfoot. The story was investigated by Roger Patterson of the Patterson-Gimlin film. The teens claimed to have taken a close-up photograph of one of the creatures, but the photo, along with photos of the footprints, are missing. After seeing Bigfoot tracks in Washington back in 1970, a man was able to photograph one. The picture showed the creature's face sticking out of some bushes. Unfortunately, the photographer, a man named Ron Smith, later gave the photo away. In 1901, a hunter in Florida began following large alligator-like tracks through the swamps. He eventually found the creature making them, which he said was a large 50-foot or 15-meter long reptile that looked somewhat like a kangaroo. He took a shot at the animal before running away. Later, he went back to the area to find vultures feeding on a large carcass. He was able to preserve part of the skeleton, which was then sent to the Smithsonian before it went missing. In 1977, a young man took a photograph of a Bigfoot hidden behind some plants in a gorge in Ontario. This photograph was investigated by Wayne King of the Michigan Canadian Bigfoot Center. However, King said that all of his evidence was highly classified and wouldn't be released. There are multiple lost Bigfoot photos from Washington's Mount Rainier, but these ones were only discussed by Wayne King, so he also didn't release them. In 1996, two fishermen pulled up a strange creature near Block Island in the United States. It was about 13 feet or 4 meters in length, serpentine, and had strange whiskers. While they did preserve the specimen in ice, it was stolen at some point and hasn't resurfaced. John Eric Beckjord had a now-lost Bigfoot photograph on display at his museum. No information is known about it, besides that it was taken in Idaho, and Beckjord said that it was a good photo. According to the Cleveland Plain Dealer, a woman named Betty Parks took a photo of Bigfoot in Ohio back in 1988. She and a friend had experienced some Bigfoot activity beforehand, hearing loud screams, and having a log thrown at them. The photograph itself was taken at night, and a flashlight was used to illuminate the creature. Don Keating said that it looked like a young Bigfoot. Explorer Ravogene Ravzir was an Alma's researcher. the Mongolian equivalent of the Yeti. After spending several years searching, he was able to take 2 photographs of the creature sitting on a rock. Unfortunately, the photos haven't been released. Titicaca Lake in Peru is allegedly home to a strange unidentified animal, described as plesiosaur-like or looking like a manatee. Whatever it is, a retired CIA agent claimed to have photographed the cryptid, but this photo was never published. In 1975, a Pennsylvanian couple was stalked by a Bigfoot-like creature at night. They took now-missing photographs of the animal, which seemed to show glowing red eyes. A man named Joe Speck took a Super 8 video of a Bigfoot in Samuel Taylor State Park in California. The now lost 1975 film showed a large grayish-black Bigfoot walking over some logs. Orang Pendek investigator Debbie Martyr found tracks believed to have been from the cryptid in 1989. Although casts of the footprints were made, they were lost after she sent them to the Indonesian National Parks Department. An anonymous hunter in Idaho going by JW claimed to have captured a tape of Bigfoot during a bad snowstorm. He recorded the creature from a few angles before it moved away from him. John Green analyzed the tape, but its current location is unknown. In 1975, a group of teenagers spotted 3 skunk apes in Citrus County, Florida. One teen attempted to photograph them, but his camera made a loud noise while preparing to take the photo. This caused one of the apes to knock him over, making the now lost photograph close up, but blurry. You may have seen the 50-foot Congo snake photo taken in 1959. This picture has attracted a lot of controversy due to the lack of features for a scale. Shortly after it was taken, however, George Boniver flew a helicopter over the original spot of the photo. He captured a short color video of the area, but this video is missing. During a birthday party for an Ohio man, a photograph was taken. As it was being snapped, the photographer noticed a pair of eyes in the window behind the man. When examined, the photograph showed a Bigfoot looking in on the family, though the window made the Bigfoot somewhat blurry. The family would later have other encounters with the cryptid, but the photo was lost. In 1976, a woman named Barbara Petrula saw a Bigfoot behind her store in Kootenay, British Columbia. She took a now lost photograph that showed a dark-furred Bigfoot with a lighter-colored stomach. It was viewed by an RCMP officer who said it was somewhat blurry. Willoughby Lake in Vermont has been the site of multiple giant eel sightings. One report involves divers looking to retrieve the body of a missing sailor. Instead, they found an underwater cave inhabited by large eels. The eels were photographed according to some reports, but these photos never surfaced. In 1977, an unidentified man near Silver Lake in California took photographs of a Bigfoot with white fur. Rich Grumley, who is part of a California Bigfoot investigation group, looked into the photos, but their current location is unknown. Washington's eagle is an unrecognized species of eagle native to the United States, first reported by artist John Audubon. There are a number of alleged lost specimens of the eagle. One eagle was caught live, and then later sent to the Linnean Museum of London around 1832. Another was at the New England Museum. A smaller museum in Philadelphia was also said to have a specimen. One was purchased from Brano's Museum and then sent to the Academy of Natural Sciences in Philadelphia. Finally, the Cleveland Academy of Science was also said to have a specimen. The Patterson-Gimlin tape is the most famous video in cryptozoology, but there's a theory that what was seen in the video isn't all there is to it. M.K. Davis, who's well known for analyzing the tape, put forth the theory that Patterson and Gimlin had actually killed several Sasquatches before the video. There are also rumors of secret, unreleased videos that show more of the massacre. In September of 1978, a biker took 6 color photos of a Bigfoot in a Massachusetts swamp. While the story was discussed in a newspaper, the photographs weren't in the article. According to Minnesota Bigfoot News, there were moving pictures of a Bigfoot taken in Washington state sometime around 1978. Mike Quast thought that this was just a misremembering of the Frank White Bigfoot film. In 1978, a woman named Marion Schubert had multiple encounters with Bigfoot in California. A photograph from one of her encounters was at John Eric Beckjord's museum, but John Green says it was probably lost in a fire that destroyed his home. In 1852, the crew of the Barham were near the Mozambique Channel when they spotted a large sea serpent. It was described as having the head of a snake and a saw-like comb. It appeared twice, and the second time, one of the sailors drew a sketch of the animal. According to Michael Newton, this sketch has never been published. In 1988, a family in Pennsylvania began to experience Bigfoot activity. They were able to get some photographs of the animal, which were investigated by Stan Gordon. According to Gordon, there were some technical issues with the camera, but either way, the photographs weren't released. In 1995, Bigfoot hunter Steve Williams took a photograph of Bigfoot near Molola, Oregon. The photograph wasn't archived on his website, however, the Internet Archive did save this picture of his wife instead. Another photograph not saved by the Internet Archive was of a Bigfoot nicknamed Orvin. It was taken at midnight in southern Oregon. It should be noted that the photographer thought that Orvin communicated with her psychically and was from a higher dimension. John Green once heard about a game officer in Montana who had taken photos of 2 Sasquatches in 1976. Neither Green nor the person who told them about the pictures were able to see it for themselves, however. In 1967, the University of Pittsburgh captured photos of what one scientist believed were tracks from a living trilobite. Unfortunately, a planned expedition to find the animal that made the tracks never materialized. Additionally, the photos of the tracks themselves are now lost. There are multiple lost Bigfoot videos taken in Maryland by a paranormal research group named Center Force. We have a description of one that was taken near Baltimore by a trucker. It was only a couple seconds in length and showed a dark shape crossing the road. In 1993, the Bigfoot Co-op reported that some clear photographs had been taken in Oregon. Further information or the photos themselves weren't in later newsletters. An acquaintance of Mike Quast remembered seeing a Bigfoot video from Coon Rapids, Minnesota around 1995. Quast was somewhat doubtful about the existence of the video, and no other details were provided. Controversial author Gavin Menzies thought that ground sloths had actually survived their presumed extinction. On his website, he seemingly talks about a photograph he took of a smaller upright ground sloth. Where this photograph is, however, is a mystery. Daniel Perez was told of a short Bigfoot video taken during a four-wheeling trip near Breckenridge Mountain, California, back in 2000. The video showed a Bigfoot with unusually long arms, but it wasn't widely released. John Eric Beckjord advertised many now-lost Bigfoot photographs for sale on his website. Some of their names were Sierra Big Mama Bigfoot and the Half Bigfoot, which Beckjord ominously said had no other half. Beckjord passed away in 2009, so the location of these photos is unknown. The late Bigfoot investigator Tim Olson looked into 3 now-lost Bigfoot photos taken in Ohio. All that's known about them is that they were taken by a Milwaukee woman's mother. In the 1990s and early 2000s, a strange bird was blamed for attacks on chickens in Puerto Rico. Remarkably, one man was able to capture the animal, which he took photos of. A reporter said that the photos showed a strange tail that grew out of the bird's head. Unfortunately, these photos weren't published, and the bird wasn't examined. In the Bigfoot newsletter The Track Record, strange photos from 1982 were mentioned. A man had stopped to pick up a hitchhiker, but the traveler turned out to be a hustler trying to sell things out of a gas can. One of the things he had for sale was a stack of Bigfoot photos. He claimed to have run into an entire family of them near Beacon Rock in Washington. The driver looked at the photos, but all he could see was the outline of something with red eyes. In 1971, a couple in British Columbia accidentally captured what appeared to be a white-haired Bigfoot on video. They were recording inside, and later noticed a creature in the background through a window. The husband also took a now-lost photograph of Bigfoot that was investigated by John Green. In 1960, locals found the skin and jawbone of a giant lizard in New Guinea. This came during the same time as other sightings of a giant lizard named the Artrila in the region. Whatever happened to the specimen is unknown, as it disappeared. Anthropologist Colin Groves heard of a photograph of the Ting Vor, a giant Indo-Chinese bovine that eats snakes. Unfortunately, the photo was not only poor quality, but a hunter was sitting on top of it, obscuring the cryptid's head. Groves looked for more information about the photo, but was unable to locate it. Bigfoot researcher Joan Jeffers has a possible Bigfoot video from 1948 in her family collection. It's described as a 2-second color film shot from a truck in southern Alaska. The video briefly shows Bigfoot walking through an open field. Fellow investigator Danny Perez saw a still of this footage, but the full video hasn't been widely released. During a podcast episode, Bobo of the show Finding Bigfoot mentioned recording something strange during the show. While the crew was out on Lake Kinzua, they spotted and filmed a large unidentified creature. Unfortunately, the video wasn't released in the show as it didn't relate to Bigfoot. The Tua Yu is a large upright hominid cryptid from Thailand, and around the year 1880, a red-colored one was shot. Unfortunately, it quickly began decomposing, so only the skeleton could be preserved. Equally as unfortunate, the skeleton later went missing. In the 1990s, there was a rumor of an unknown species of big cat being shot in Tennessee. This cat had a golden brown body with black stripes and spots, and a thin red stripe running down its back. The paws, tail, and head of the animal were also red in color. The men who shot it didn't report it due to fears of being prosecuted for poaching. A photograph of the animal was attested to by a man named Brian Long, but it was sold to a biology student and disappeared after. Thank you very much for watching. This video is dedicated to my friend and researcher Ear, who unfortunately passed away in early 2024. Ear put in a ton of work in not only this video, but also helped me out a bunch on my previous Cryptid Lost Media videos. I'd also like to thank my Patreons Timothy, Wild World, Lenarts, Gearhard, Johnny Tsunami, Jason Cook, and John R. If you'd like to support my channel, a link to my Patreon will be in the description. I'd also like to give a big shout out to Master Tyrannosaurus, Bamias, Raven Days, Narrator Jane, Equarep, Sonia, Lex, King Fluffs, Tyler Greenfield, The Island of Sicily, Zachary Mann, and a legitimate pianist. I'd also like to shout out some great artists who were in this video, like Robert Woodard, Sustained Disgust, and Jerka Huska. One more thing, a book by a longtime collaborator that covers mysteries like the lost Thunderbird photo is finally being released. This is the most in-depth investigation on a single piece of cryptid lost media ever, so definitely check it out. I'll put a link to the book, An Anthology of American Strangeness, down below. That's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.